This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day. Carefully crafted for you by humans, so meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.
Okay, cute. So to get the ball rolling on this podcast, I'm going to read you some hot takes, and I want you to tell me if you agree with them or not. Okay? Okay, first hot take. Flip phones are better than smartphones.
You're talking about the in age, the old ones.
Yeah. Agree or disagree?
I disagree.
I disagree. Yeah. Yeah, I prefer smartphones too.
Well, it's right there, right? It's just agreeance or not.
No, I get that. Next one. Concerts are overrated. Always better to listen to music at home.
Oh, that's a trick question. I don't agree.
Yeah. Don't want to get canceled for that one either. I don't agree either. The vibe is there. Next question. Next take. Aliens definitely exist.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree with that one too. And next hot take.
Who wouldn't agree with that?
People who don't believe in aliens, I guess. Pineapple does belong on pizza.
Yes. Anything you want. Chocolate, whatever you want to put on pizza. It's your pizza, right? But people are always like judging other people's pizzas. Like pineapple's like, it's not, you don't eat it. You know, if I want to put, I don't know, baby food or man, why do you?
That's true.
Exactly. So
Well, pizza is not bad.
it's not bad. And I like anchovies and all of that. I mean, it's my, if I'm paying for it, I think I should put whatever I want. And then the fact that people made this an issue for years, the pineapple and stuff, there's other ingredients that don't belong there, in my opinion. But you can't judge people based on their pizza choices. You can't.
No, I get that. I totally agree. Justice for pineapple pizza. And guys, you heard it. That was curated doing our game of hot takes.
Did I win or what happened?
There was no winning or losing. It was more just like having fun. But
I want to win.
I would say you won. You didn't have any bad answers. So I'm
It's a little confetti. Yes,
that's cool. And welcome you to the Fully Managed podcast. Welcome everybody watching and listening. This is where we talk about marketing, we talk about business, and we assist all of you with your business journeys. And you know me, Daniela. I'm the host, and today our guest is Keu from SPREAD Agency. I think I already said that. Welcome, Keu. How are you doing? I'm so excited to have you today.
I am doing amazing. Yeah, I'm here because I was trying to get to the office. It somehow it takes me like 3 hours every time, just phone calls and things like this. So but I love it. I love what I do. So it's like every day is like an adventure. I'd rather do this than, I don't know. It could be roofing out there, and putting roofs at 90-degree weather. It's just a hard job. So I'm lucky. I'm very blessed.
I'm so happy. I'm so excited to have you. And I am actually really interested in what you guys do at SPREAD. So to get the ball rolling, get us started, why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is, what you guys are all about, everything that we got to do.
Wow. Well, I couldn't tell you everything, but I could tell you a lot. Well, and the reason is because we do basically SPREAD. It's an agency. I'm going to put this in a way that's easy. It's an agency that has groups of agencies. It's like a conglomerate, right? So we have a section, for example, that's called Spreading Love. That's part of Spread, but it's its own company. And what we do is we help nonprofits raise funds. So that's all that group does. We have another group that is Spread Dental. And all we do is we deal in the dental industry marketing from everything you could think of in the dental industry. Then we have a niche under that is pediatric dental marketing, which is where we go even deeper into dental marketing and doing marketing for just pediatric dentists. Because I believe that that's where the key is in being really specialist on what you do. Like, don't be a doctor that takes care of all the ailments. Be that brain surgeon. That's what we try to do. And we actually have Spread Politics, that we help political campaigns, and we have to help political people that are in politics. And we have a lot of good traction there. And a lot of those I can't really talk about because we do a lot of also covert kind of stuff. We create content that sort of influences a lot of things in government and politics. And those are very, very sensitive because it's hard to explain, but it's just things that we do that can sway people's opinion. And you know what? It's not about being right or wrong, because some things I don't agree with, but the job is to do that. So that's what we do at Spread. We do an array of things, from top secret stuff to, helping your kids go to the dentist.
Yeah, I know. I saw that when I went to your website, I saw that you guys were talking about children's kids marketing, dental marketing. I think it was so interesting to me because it's such, I guess, we have a phrase in Spanish that says "valga la redundancia," which means, like, I guess, it's such a spread out thing, which I think is very fitting for the name of Spread, because you do a wide range of things. What I was curious about, and the first question that I actually have for you is, how did you actually make this into a collective structure? How did that actually happen? And how did you get so many different kinds of things to be a part of this one thing?
Yeah, that's been a work in progress. I think it's always evolving. But what became to me very stressful was, so we do a lot of international work. And a lot of our work, we can't publish. We can't market ourselves with the stuff that we really do. So I needed to be out there without necessarily to show. So we're good at what we do. That's what we can take this as starting out, and we'll make you famous. Do it the right way, the wrong way, the easy way, the hard way. We don't judge on what your level of risk, your risk tolerance is. The section that's called it's called shock. Right? And shock, supposed to spread, is when you want to say, hey, I got 6 months worth of budget here. It's fairly, I'm up this eventually. I have nothing to lose. We can take that desperation and turn it into a winning, and we've done it over and over, where you have nothing to lose. Let's go all out and let's be controversial. Let's stir the pot. And then these companies have to turn around because of this. So I needed to put all of this in a way that was cohesive. And I still think it's very raw because of all the things that we do, but because of things that I really would love to talk about. And we travel all over the world. And we can take one picture and influence 1,000 people, and to me, I'm so amazing. But yeah, I can't show you the picture because then you'll know that, that was great. We don't, I needed to, make this legit. So that's why you get the short answer is. So the Spread is we're good at what we do. We just can't tell you everything we do, but we'll do it for you. I think you're muted. I think you might be muted, Daniela.
Sorry.
You bite your lips, though. I agree. Even though I'm a good-looking guy, what did I miss your answer? Sorry. I want to be. I'm sorry. I'm not good at this. Okay, they repeat what?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was muted, and then it just kept yapping. No, you're funny. I like that. But what I wanted to ask is, I think, you guys do a lot of kind of the branding that you do is very much with kind of building that strong personal brand that you mentioned. I think with the competitive market that we live in today of everybody and their mother knowing and doing marketing, with social media being a huge thing, the internet, AI, all of these different sort of factors that come in. What do you actually do to help people stand out? To differentiate themselves, to be able to sort of see that red dot in a bunch of blues, for the kind of environment and market that we have right now.
Yeah, and I think that's on like I said, risk tolerance and the results that you're looking for. Some people are, especially when you have a company and people, that work for you, and it's very stressful. And a lot of the decisions come from places of fear for a lot of clients where they're afraid to take risks because they don't want to mess something up or get in trouble. And I think what we do, one thing that is probably where we start, and I think we usually see if it's a good fit or not for us, because also we're not going to do a lot of work if we know you don't have what it takes to really make it happen. You can tell from the beginning that, this person, they're too reserved, they're too scared, they won't be able to grow at the pace that they think they want to grow. They're growing at the pace that they should grow, at the pace of a snail, right? But if you really want to grow exponentially, what we try to do is get you out of that fear state and let you know that it's okay. Nothing's going to happen here. People move on, because I think once you start thinking, what if we fail, you're going to fail. So you got to go into, okay, you want to grow exponentially. What are you willing to do exponentially? What are you willing to risk? What is the sacrifice here? You got to sacrifice something for another. And I think getting people out of that fear state, and because we work with a lot of company leaders and a lot of company executives that they've all their life, they've operated fear, cautious, that we were talking about earlier, being PC and what's appropriate for the market. What are we saying? What terms are we using now? And how are we describing this? When that's not a pioneer. That is just adjusting to market conditions. And they don't understand why it's not growing. If you really want, and you're an executive, I don't care if it's a Fortune 500, I've seen government officials. We work with some people in government that they're like, forget it. Let's do it all. Way out. I don't care. And you see when you reach that, not being concerned with people and you just doing what's right and what's in your intuition, quickly in a way that you can't even manage. You're like, wait, whoa, I didn't expect this. In a quick story on, I don't know if Married with Children. Too young for that, but Married with Children was a popular show here in the United States of this family that was very. Do you know them? Have you heard of them?
Yes, I think I have.
Yeah. Okay, go. If no, people can Google them nowadays. But basically, this family was all crazy, right? They were they were just dysfunctional. And at the time on TV, you never saw all the families on TV were, proper families with moral structure. Yes. And here comes this family, just people were outraged. What? How can they? But this is what happened with that show. That show started as a family show, as a nice, beautiful family show. And then they were going to get canceled because it wasn't doing well. So I guess the people behind that, and I'm getting the story mixed up because there's a lot of stories behind it, but from what I hear, is that they're like, we have nothing to lose. Let's just destroy this family, and they destroyed it in the most perfect way ever, that it just became a hit for years. And from there, you have people like the Simpsons, that Bart Simpson was outraged. Like, oh, he said cowabunga, and he's skateboarding, and people were outraged back then. Like, oh, a cartoon doing that, and now it's nothing. That's so nice. Computer was out there now, but what I'm saying, if you're not in that edge and you're not pioneering new, you're just living other people's crumbs. Someone invented that, now you're using that. Someone invented that, now you're using that. But say, where's your place? Where's your company's place in this? And if your company wants to be a leader is not using other people's things. A leader is creating new things. I don't care if you're selling donuts. If you're selling donuts and all your donuts look like the other donuts, like, then you just have a donut shop. Now, if you want to be the leader in the donut world, like, people are like, man, these donuts, this is what's up. You gotta do like cream. Yeah, exactly. Krispy Kreme. And even then, I think they stop evolving, right? So I think someone that comes with Krispy Kreme and dust it up, maybe do a different shape of donuts. Maybe your donut shapes like this, or what, now you're talking about people who are like, oh man, and I think that's what we help companies with, is before they start working, like you were saying, talking about execution, before we start executing, why are we doing this? Because you can do a lot of work that sits in your computer. That's beautiful, great. So it doesn't help the company that you did it. And, and it doesn't help you. It's just a waste of time. Yeah, maybe you pay some bills with some money that you got from that. But did you really grow? Did you really now? Are you a better artist now? Are you a better person? Are you a better company? Are you able to provide more jobs because your company grew? So now you can hire 100 more people. Are you doing all that? And if that's not your goal, then you probably don't align with what we're doing. Because that's our goal. If your goal is just to, 5 customers to come into your door per day just so you can sell your donuts, it's not. But now we're making body shaped donuts. These are handmade donuts, like hand shaped donut. We have and now, you can make your own little body with these. Kids love them because you can make your own little body with it. Now you're like, wow, donuts? But then, we're in the future. Now you have Wi-Fi. Oh, we put Wi-Fi on the donuts, and then you can, I don't know. I'm just going off, but you know what I mean? Like, if you're not in that pioneering state, then do not try. Your company is where it needs to be, And if you feel uncomfortable and you want to get out of that, then you got to sacrifice and you got to stop. You got to risk it. You got to take that risk.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think a lot of marketing sort of things that I see nowadays are very much trying to be PC, trying to not, like you said, kind of step on anybody's toes. And I guess, like, I don't know, you can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you can stay neutral in a lot of stuff for the most part, but I think there comes a point where you have to sort of position yourself as a certain type of person, with certain things, and whether or not that brings or like loses clientele or loses or it gives backlash. I think sort of staying in this sort of neutral zone is also going to eventually backfire, if that makes sense.
It makes absolute sense, Anela. Think about this. There's nothing neutral. There's not. I mean, the appearance neutrality is the biggest lie we could tell ourselves. Like, there's a spectrum, and you're never in the middle. There's always something pushing you. I mean, there's nothing in the world that is, even in nature, there's nothing neutral. I mean, the ocean is not neutral. I mean, there's tide that it comes and it goes, and it's a constant flux. The universe is constantly moving. Everything in science is constantly in movement. And to think that we can stay still and not go left or right or up or down, it doesn't make sense. For companies that try to reach that neutrality, they end up just being just this bland. They'd be neutral over there where people don't want them. They don't want them. You know what I mean? They're not patronizing. That's where the end of that's where neutrality takes you, to a place of invisibility where people don't even know you exist.
Yeah, and it's you're just kind of like there. I also feel like I don't know what you think, but I also feel like companies have kind of, I feel like there's a new trend of trying to be woke, but not really.
For trends, yeah.
Yeah, and I think like regardless of where you fall in a political spectrum, right? Like if you feel like you're more like leaning towards one thing or another, I think there's this sort of wishy-washiness that I sense a lot of times from companies. To give you an example, like I feel like Disney has been doing that a lot with the live action stuff. A lot of stuff has been going down with like Snow White. And to me, like what I see it from, when I look at it from like a marketing perspective, what I think is, okay, um, you want to make these movies about like women empowerment and progressiveness and stuff, but then, like you're getting pushback from a lot of people who think that this is not right. And then Disney kind of backtracks. And then I'm like, well, you're positioning yourself from the get by making a movie with these statements. So my opinion is that if like you are going to make that as a statement, that is the political view that you want to put your company in, you have to stick with that throughout the whole thing and not backtrack when you get backlash from people who oppose that. Because obviously people are going to oppose that. There are people who are not going to want to be a part of that, but you should have been knowing that when you made that choice. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And they know it. And that's a great point that you bring, because Disney's a company that has always, been pioneers in what they do. And they try to remain neutral. That's what I was talking about, neutrality. And then once they go and do a little bit of this, then people are outraged.
Yeah, they're pissed off from whatever side they're doing, right? Yeah.
But you got to see that Disney is not a thief or a person. Disney is a collection of people in there that make decisions. And these people come and go. And these decisions change as people come and go. And another thing you got to think of is that a lot of these decisions are made on a personal level and not as in society or marketing level. So, for example, I'm an executive there and I got this great job at Disney and I'm making big bang. And I just bought a new home and I got my new car. My wife got a new car. And my kid is in private school. And I'm living pretty much, even though I'm making a lot of money, I'm spending a lot of money. And to keep my lifestyle, it requires this money. And I'm such at a high level that if I was to get fired from here, I'm probably never going to find a job in the next few months or if find another one. So now this is my question. I got to make a decision. Am I going to risk my lifestyle and this money that I'm getting to make this decision by doing the right thing, or I'm going to protect
my money,
myself by what? Yeah, exactly. So there's a collection of executives that make money expenses. So their decision protects their job, because the only with a CEO, Bob Iger, because which is so rich, he probably doesn't care about the pushback that much. He can just retire 10 times. So, but that executive that's below those big positions push these agendas or don't, or backtrack. They're the ones, by the time it gets to the CEO, 10 committee meetings and so it or not. And so that's I'm just explaining a little bit about these decisions are made from, like, they say fake wokeness or not, or whatever is the new hot thing now that we can embrace to be part of the community. So Disney, they're just people that are afraid, and in one way or another. So they're going to make the decision that's going to keep their house, their mortgage.
I just think, I mean, I look at it from like a business standpoint. I think what you should always be doing, in my opinion, as a company, is kind of have a strict set. What is it strict? But you should always have like a set of what your company stands for. Even if your company's like going back to your donut shop, like, okay, yeah, donuts they have nothing to do with politics, but you want to have still some sort of like value system that you adhere to. And then what you do from that point forward should always adhere to that value system. And whatever goes against it, you are going to vehemently say, that is not what we stand for. And I think that consistency, from like the point of view of like your audience, your clientele, the people that are consuming your product, your service, it would be much more appreciated, because then you are going to attract the same kind of people who are going to agree with those values. And I just don't think that there's like a way for you to get everybody on your side, or as much, like there's always going to be people who are not going to be okay with what your brand does, who don't like your product, who don't like your service, who think that you're bad, right? So you just want to sort of have that group of community. But I think by sort of backtracking, because you're trying to save face, or trying to, like you said, kind of like all these board members that are just trying to save their dollar, you're actually creating much of a bigger problem, because you're pushing people away, because you're not keeping a single stance, right? Like if you're be on the left, in my opinion, and your political take is going to be like Disney, for example, is trying to take like a leftist political take, and that means they're going to piss everybody off on the right side, right? So that means that's who you're catering to nowadays. And if you want to do it on the other side, that means you're going to piss everybody off on the left side. But in my opinion, you're just pissing everybody off on both sides. What are you're still going to lose your job. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. But see, there's other forces as well, because Disney can take that stand all they want. But what happens when maybe banking institutions don't agree with them, and they're like, you know what, we don't like where you're going, so we better cut ties. And now they may end up spending money or losing money, and then now they get, like there's consequences. But that's what I said, it's a sacrifice. There's consequences, and sometimes when you have board members and people that you have to pay dividends to, and they're like, our dividend check is going down.
Yeah.
You're not making as much. Now you're talking about a different kind of pressure that's beyond the external pressure you're already getting. Now you're getting these internal pressure points. And then on top of that, your ticket sales may fluctuate. Because now, the people that don't like you, they're not going to go anyway. And the people that like you, they're mad at you. And so it's hard for a company, especially that big, to take political stands because of that. Because if you don't have that core, the core decision makers inside saying, no matter what, we're selling this shit and we don't care. And I know that we're getting shot at and bombarded and cannons are coming up, but we're going to keep going. And I think what happens is they get a couple of shots, somebody fired a cannon. Turn around. Even if this shit is going with circles. Well, look, to hear even a different, that's political, but also how values change. That when legal, it was just, it was nothing weird. It was like, that was the law, and people had slaves. And fast forward to now, and we look back, how could this be okay? The moral compass was that was okay. And I think today we are in the same, there's a lot of things that are okay or not okay that we're going to look 50 years down the line and go, what were we thinking? Okay. So I think, you're either a pioneer that's going to go into and live in the future, but you're going to be affected in the now, or you're going to just try to remain neutral, like you say, and try not to ruffle any feathers. No,
I think feather rufflers are the people who usually cause change. So I think you have to, in order to progress, unfortunately. Like you said, neutrality, it only brings to boringness. And it's not going to help in the long run. And I think that's a great way to end this podcast on, because unfortunately we are running out of time. But it's been so great to have you, Keu. before we finish it, I do want to give you the space to promote anything. If anything that we spoke about today resonated with our audience, the space is yours.
Me? Is my space?
Yeah, you can like plug anything that you want.
Oh, plug. Is that what I'm saying? This is all mine. I think if you're, because usually I don't even market. Like I said, like I don't. If you look at my page, it's just a page that exists, but I don't even do like actual marketing because I've been blessed that all of my clients bring me more clients and more clients, like, to the point that I have to be really selective. Like I said, if you're not aligning when you come with our company, and I work with a lot of different people that have really great team that we all on the same page. And if you're not coming here to run and to do something amazing and to do something, if it's quality graphic work, it's not about just the quality. I mean, if you're not going to do something that's going to change your company, the world, if your aspiration is just to stay in business, maybe get a little bit more money, that's not us. If you're trying to take your business into a place that you don't even imagine yet, that's what we do. So contact us. Spread.company is the main website. We also have a million spreads, but spread.company, you're probably going to get to wherever you need to get to. We also, I'm really pushing a lot about the nonprofits because I find it very rewarding, especially in today's climate, that a lot of nonprofits, they suck at marketing. I mean, just to be honest, but not because they're bad. It's just they're handling a million things. They don't think marketing comes last. It should really come first, but it's big. That's why we're here, and this is something that we do that we don't. This is something that we don't charge. We create win-win scenarios for all, and we help a lot. And obviously, nonprofit has to align with what we believe. We don't like it. If you're about kicking cats, so we're probably not going to work with you. So we're only going to consider companies that align with what we believe the world should be. And if they're working in a cause that aligns with what we're doing and what we believe, then we will help you and not charge you. However, we will find a way so we can all win at the end. We always do. But what I'm saying is, don't be afraid to reach out. If you just, if you're like, but we can't afford it. It's like, there's no affording. There is no price. It's like, just reach out, tell us what your cost is, what you're working on. And if we can't help you, we have a ton of resources of other people and places that you can go to get the marketing need you need, because you need marketing. That you're not fundraising because you have a lack of a great concept. You're not fundraising because you are lacking marketing. You're not presenting your idea and your concept, as great as it is. You're not presenting it in the. You can help with that, and obviously we can help everyone. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. I need
much.
Your website on the description of this video so that people can easily access it, so that they can reach out to you. And I'm so grateful that we had you on the podcast today. And everyone else, I will see you on the next episode.
Thank you so much.
You've been listening to Fully Managed, brought to you by Penji. Check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest. And to learn more about Penji, the human-first creative subscription service, head over to penji.co. And by the way, if you're still listening, it would mean the absolute world to us if you were to share this podcast with a friend and, of course, subscribe.